don't know all of that. We have a revised map, and it has to qualify, which it probably does. Basically, you have to almost repeat much, not everything, but much of the same thing you did to get the TIF started in the first place. Do we have a public notice? We have a public notice?
Not yet.
Okay, we don't have one. Do we have notices sent to the taxing districts and residents? We do not have a joint review board meeting scheduled. Let's see, what else? We don't know the details. And it's out of order, and it's putting the cart before the horse. So I make a motion to table this.
Wait, okay. So.
Well, I made a motion to table.
So the motion to table kills all debate and everything. So we have our opportunities to still speak. So there's a motion and a second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry.
This is a motion to table.
Right. Thompson. That was Thompson. Who was the second? He said. Who was the second on that?
Brooks, speak. Okay, we just vote.
Okay. I can do a roll call.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. That's it.
Trustee Lewis.
Votes no.
Trustee Williams.
Votes no.
Trustee Jenkins Bell.
He's right here. The gentleman is here.
Trustee Fulcher.
Votes yes to table.
I'm sorry.
She said vote yes to table.
Trustee Thompson.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks. Mayor Rudell.
Votes no to table.
Motion to table failed.
All right. Now, Manager Scott, yes, go ahead, Trustee.
So, Mayor, I concur with Trustee Thompson. This is nothing personal. This should be something that should have been brought at the CAL. This is our regular board meeting. When we pass this of having a CAL and having regular board meetings, that's so we only vote. Actually, I just made a comment to my colleague. I'm so glad we vote every 30 days. Because sometimes the things that are being thrown at us, you know, just, you can't even process it. Like the beginning of the year, 16 items on the agenda. My question come in even then when we had the opportunity. I'm looking at this. It's empty. No one is stopped. First of all, let me make something clear with you, gentlemen. No one's trying to stop you from speaking. This is procedural. Got nothing to do with y'all. Let me eliminate that right now. This is not personal against you all. This is about procedure. And this is what I've been fussing about all night long. We have to be procedural in these things. When we received this, I'm going to be honest, I was just sitting at home today, because we get, like Trustee Fulcher say, we got this. First notes that come out of my mouth, come to my mind, blank spots, no exhibits. If this was to try to be passed tonight, first of all, you're going to need an ordinance to pass what you passed tonight because it's blank. And you can't call this, I'm so glad tonight we have Felicia, because our other lawyer, everything is a working document, in his words. And I'm so sick of that term. She never does us like that. So you just heard my colleague name off the process of the TIF. We just sat with the taxing bodies. If I'm not mistaken, even the Park District had somebody here. But we didn't have a clerk, we didn't have anybody recording the minutes, but it was a productive discussion about the TIF. So these are the same process we got to go through again, but I just asked to the chair and the village manager and the lawyer, can we please just follow the process that we got right here, because it's only fair that it's done so that we can move forward with some of the things. I'm trying not to call somebody incompetent, but that's what I'm seeing. There's no way tonight the draft that we got, oh, excuse me, well, does this one have draft? No, the ordinance for the public safety director had the draft. And this, you know, and if it was supposed to pass tonight, why you got draft on it? But then we received this, and I mean, Shirley Bolden, Theopolis Brooks, Sonia Jenkins Bell, Donzel Franklin, Karen Lewis, Janelle McFadden. That tells us how old this is. So, and the draft mark is 3/8 of 26. And then as we go through the pages, like my colleague said, they're blank. If we can just go forward, and I mean, even for the clerk, she could not even vote tonight properly if this was to go, because here it is. She has under here for her voting sheet. So I know something wasn't communicated with the clerk. Shirley Bolden, Theopolis, Sonia Jenkins Bell, Donzel Franklin, Karen Lewis, McFadden, and then the mayor. But yet they have 2026 on here. So I think we need to take some time and do this correctly so that we can move this forward. I know this, it looks like a memo that was sent. Today is the 24th, so this was done on the 8th. And, you know, I'm gonna yield my time because my thing is this. I'm gonna agree that I hear one of my trustees say, we not where we were yesterday. When she says, we not where we are yesterday, but we better, yeah, and we are, we way better. We way better. What I want is that because this village has grown, because we made so much legislation on very important items, let's please, please, please get the procedure right, because already we're talking TIF 7. I just tell you, I just got an email from a gentleman who was ready for TIF 8. So let's just make sure we roll right through it and do everything right, because apparently business is moving and we don't want to see this embarrassment, especially when it comes to sending something to the clerk, especially for the vote. Because I'm sure she's not going to call on Shirley Bolden and McFadden, because they've been here gone. I'm just playing, just cheesing. And I yield my time. I'm done.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for this, as like the trustees have stated, that we did not receive any information. We didn't receive the exhibits. I see something was gave to us as of right now, today, this evening. There's no eligibility study. Where is that at? That's supposed to have been provided. I don't see that, and that's key in order for us even to know if this has even qualified as a blighted area. I don't even know if it qualified for each one of the different parcels. So it states that on the first page, whereas the corporate authorities find and determine that the report provides in sufficient detail the basis for concluding that the proposed expanded redevelopment project area qualifies as a blighted vacant area pursuant to the Act. We haven't seen the eligibility study, so again, like before, the corporate authorities have not determined anything. So you're kind of predetermining that this is going to pass when we haven't even seen the eligibility study by the firm of Ryan LLC. We don't have no idea who Ryan LLC is. So where's that information? That's the first thing, that's the first process that should be done. Also, that eligibility study should be posted publicly so everybody could be able to see it. Then you go through the next steps. But that's not done. So how could we even move forward when the first step of even thinking about expanding or adding on to the TIF is not even done, nor has the board received it? There's no way for it. I don't know the information. I would need to read through it myself. You're kind of predetermining that the board has agreed when we have not even seen the eligibility study. That's something that should be posted again publicly so then residents can see it as well. And then the exhibits where it states that all the taxing bodies, which has the Will County taxing bodies and the Cook County taxing bodies, should have seen this information as well, and they should have been sent the report as for the public hearing, and that hasn't been done. So none of the exhibits that said that that was done, which that should have been provided to us. The eligibility study by a firm of Ryan LLC. Who is Ryan LLC? We don't have that we don't have that information. You could be, but I'm just stating what's in this ordinance. We have not received anything to even state if it was even passed, if it's eligible, is it a blighted area for each one of the parcels. That's information that we should have received, and it should have been posted.
Are you finished with your comments, trustee?
Yes, I'm finished with my comments.
All right.
Thank you.
I usually would like to just sit still and be quiet, and I understand that there was old trustees on the letterhead and things of that nature. It's not the first time. It's not intentional. It was very unintentional. Other attorneys have done it. Other administrators have done it before. So those things do happen occasionally. So we're not to fault or point the finger at anyone. But what it goes to show you is how extremely important it is to continue staying the course. That's how long we've been fighting to provide something good for the community that the community has asked for continuously over and over and over again. This opportunity, I will fight my best for this community to make sure that this community has the growth that's necessary for this community. So it's been going on such a long time, fighting, trying to improve the quality of life in our community by progressive development. So that's one of the reasons why it's on there. We've also talked about this project numerous amounts of times, and I do understand that some of my trustees here state that it's just tossed on their face, but this is what the catch-22 is that no one actually hears. Once we initiate the project and continue to start the conversation, they don't say anything. They're not asking about any involvement. They're not asking about what's the status of the progress. Mayor, what are we going to do with the expansion of TIF 7? They go limp. So as the mayor, do I sit still and just wait till this moment comes and not fight for the development? So just to let the people know in the community who want real development, so the expansion of TIF 7, what it does provide, it would provide a new road that will go to Governor's Highway. But with that new road, it sets out 30 acres to the north, which the developer is anxiously waiting for this to happen so he can build a mixed-use development in partnership with Governor State University. On the south side, in the Will County part, there's retail and other jobs right on the western side in Cook County. So it's worth fighting for me. And sometimes people say the process is soiled and everything, but at the end of the day, the pie is good for everybody. If you want the retail development, if you want the new housing, here's an opportunity to get new housing on Cicero in the Cook County part, approximately about 80 new townhomes, mixed-use development, new retail on the south side in the Will County, on the Will County side, with stores and restaurants that serve the residents of the community, the traffic north and south on Cicero, and the main feeder is the University, Governor State University. So that's why you see some old documents, because we shouldn't have to continue to fight hard as we do to improve the quality of life for not just us, but for the next generation. And that's all it's about. That's all it's about. So I'm asking for these gentlemen to come to the podium for clarity and understanding. I'm asking for support on the Board of Trustees. And Trustee Brooks, I truly understand the procedure aspect of it. If I'm not mistaken, this does not etch anything in stone. This is just a part of the process. And all the things that you guys have identified, the public hearings and the JRB meeting, those things are still yet to come. It's not like these things are being bypassed or overlooked. It's just a part of the business element. And we can't have this bedrock mentality in the Jetson era. We have to do what's right for the community, whether it appears strange or not, because trust and believe, we are. But the bedrock mentality is what we have to get away from, because that's what's holding us hostage. So without a further delay, let's go. So I'm asking for the vote to support this development as we move forward. And those things will not be bypassed. Oh.
Right, because that's, well, you keep saying that someone's blocking and asking for
I
the
didn't
vote.
say the word
We're
block.
asking for the process to be done correctly. Where is the eligibility study? I have not seen it. This has been brought up to this board. How many times? 5 times? And we still have not seen that information?
Trustee.
It shouldn't take forever to get what we're supposed to read and review and look at in order for us to make sound decisions. We can't do that if we don't receive the information.
Well, you know what, and you're right, but listen, no one says you're blocking, but you're not aggressively promoting and pushing and inquiring about this project. I'm
Huh?
available. Not you. I'm not saying that. No.
Okay.
No one's saying anything about that, but it's not to that stage yet. If the attorneys, which
Well,
keeps
why we
us
don't
straight
have it on the cow, though, man? I mean,
and squared away, why are we questioning? We're not attorneys up here.
so we vote tonight then.
This is just to amend it to move it on. This does not say yes that the road is going through.
Amend what?
Go ahead, Mr. Goldblatt. Would you want to come to the podium,
No,
please?
no, I'm asking you
No,
because
it's
you-
amend the agreement to provide some support. Mr. Goldblatt, let me
But
let
if
me
it
explain.
passed tonight, it has an ordinance number on it.
It does have an ordinance, but it's
Am
nothing.
I right, Madam Clerk? If we pass this tonight, it receives an ordinance number?
Yes, it does.
So we're not doing this because I'm saying you passing something for an ordinance. You making it sound like he's just coming up here to give a discussion and then that's it. And we just sat here and told you that if you want to have them here to have the discussion, they belong here for the cow. Tonight, what you're doing, and you said errors happen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't never bang this law firm outside me and Bert's disagreement on the water issue. But I'm telling you, we haven't seen mistakes on the agenda since Michael Costado. So we can't sit here and say this is normal. This was given to us the way it was, to me, in a hurry fashion. And if it was given on March the 8th, you know, fine. Now, if you want to make the motion to table, but you still want them to say something, I don't have no problem with somebody saying something. I don't. If they're here to bring some new information. But I'm not voting on something that becomes ordinance tonight, because if you vote on it, this is blank, Mm-hmm. You have to turn around and you have to have another ordinance in order to amend it. You can't just vote on this and then scribble it in afterwards and say, that means the board just agreed with this. It don't work like that. So I'm saying the facts of how it works, state law. Mm-hmm. Am I right, Felicia Frazier?
No.
I didn't hear the last part of that. You faded out. I'm sorry. I didn't hear the last part of that.
Yeah, so Felicia, Attorney Frazier, the point that I was trying to make was, tonight, if it's passed, it's considered ordinance. The trustees, at least 3 of them have said that there were many items missing and also the process. I just simply said that if we table it, definitely it will not become an ordinance tonight, but if we passing it, we're passing the document as is. But there has been no amendment. Like Trustee Fulcher said, she ran out a whole line of what everything's supposed to be done. But I'm saying if the mayor, we table this, but if he wants the people to speak or whatever they want us to talk about tonight, we have no problem. But I'm saying the paperwork is not correct tonight.
Okay, no debate with me on that.
Yeah.
What's the impact if you table it? Because I know John does all the TIF work. That's my question, and I know you have someone there. What impact is there by tabling and delaying it?
The motion already failed.
Oh, it failed. Okay.
Not this one.
Oh.
Not this one. No.
No, it did not.
No, it did not. No, we did not. No, we did not. It hasn't come to this conversation. It's a motion and a second on the floor
Yeah, I
right
thought
now.
you guys were talking.
Right.
So is there someone there, like, what is the impact? What's the impact of that?
The motion to table failed.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Not on this one, trustee. No, it. No.
Just did it. Go back to your notes.
I've got the clerk right to my right. We haven't done this one.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, motion to table failed. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, so the motion to table failed. So that was my question. Okay. Okay. All right.
You got something? Go ahead.
The gentleman, Charles Durham, can you please come up and just speak about the TIF 7 process? And this is not tonight, if possible, so we can clean it up. But let me say
Thank you.
this.
I'm gonna send you some flowers. Thank you.
I've
been saying that for like 20 minutes.
Let me say this. So Attorney Murphy, when he created this template, obviously has an older template, and when I went to correct it, it was locked. So I wasn't able to change the board members' names, but that's an easy fix, obviously. We know who the new board members are. However, I would like the
What about the other
opportunity.
empty spots? I'm talking to her, not
But
you.
I don't even have the opportunity to speak, and I'm just asking that I can please just, because I didn't
I was
speak
just
this whole
asking.
night.
I know, I was just asking.
Okay, what was your question?
What about the other empty spots?
So what I was saying was, for one, the ordinance, you're not going to fill in, because you can't fill it in until the clerk gives us the ordinance, so that's why that's blank. You'll always see it blank. If you see it filled in, I have a question with that, so that'll always be blank. The other thing is that there were some things that we need to hammer out as far as meeting dates. That isn't anything that you decide, it's decided by law and state statute. So those get filled in at that time. So when you're saying there's all these blanks, that's some fallacy there. We are still slated for, I think it's May 12th, to try to get all this hammered away. So there still is time to solidify some of this. I did post a notice of availability of interested parties, and there's other postings and things, obviously, that we have to do. But this is a work in progress, but I do think that we need to table this till the next Cal meeting and clean up some of the things, and we'll put that in there, the dates and things that we can fill in. But because Charles Durham took the time to come here, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I would like him to just be able to present if he can, and just to speak in detail if that's okay with the board. Mr. Durham, can you please? Thank you.
You do.
Good evening. I'm Charles Durham from Ryan LLC, the mysterious one. I think maybe I'd like to just change what I was going to say earlier to a different set of statements. First of all, I endorse us taking the time, backing off, and presenting you with all the information that you deserve to consider the ordinance. There is a eligibility report. The area does qualify. However, I realize and understand you haven't seen it. And so we will make sure, we're going to back up, go through all the proper channels. We're going to make sure it's publicly to the TIF Act. We're going to work with staff to also...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. Just to clarify a couple of things, the ordinance that was put before you tonight was not to approve the amendments, as you know. It was to trigger the process. The ordinance is necessary to set the Joint Review Board meeting and to set the public hearing. So it starts the process. It's not the end of the process. Once the process is started, pursuant to the ordinance that we were presenting today, we have proposed a Joint Review Board meeting for April 14th, and we have proposed a public hearing for May 26th. Based on this action, we're going to propose changing those dates because, as you know, there's a statutory period that has to be honored in terms of getting the information to the taxing districts and to the public before the Joint Review Board meeting and the public hearing. So what seems to make sense to me is to back up, reset those dates so we make sure we meet all of the statutory requirements. But before that, most importantly, make sure that you have all the information that you require to make a full decision. So again, just to clarify for the public, we were not here to ask for approval of the amendments. That was not going to happen. That was never going to happen. It was just to start the process under the TIF Act so you can consider it. The process holds that, first of all, it's made public in a way that was described, and then, and only then, after you've seen those report and all the information, only then does the taxing districts get their 45-day notice to see the eligibility report and to consume the information. Then, after it goes out to them, there will be the Joint Review Board meeting, which was going to be April 14th, which will now be at least a couple of weeks later for that purpose. The purpose of that meeting would be for them to consider the eligibility report, consider what's being asked of them, and to float back their opinion back to you for your consideration with a recommendation on what they think you should do. After that, and only after that, there would be the public hearing. The taxing district would have another chance to speak. The public would have a chance to speak. There would be notices sent out to the public, particularly residents surrounding the area, so that they would know about the public hearing. All of that would be made public. It would all be transparent. And then only after the Joint Review Board meeting takes place, all these notices go out so everyone knows about it. And then there's the public hearing before this very body to take information about the amendment. Only after that, as a matter of fact, you can't even act that night. At the public hearing, you just take the information, you get the recommendation of the Joint Review Board, then you have to wait a minimum of 2 weeks before you make a decision. And that's set up so you have more than enough time to consume all the information you receive, and then you can make the final decision as to whether or not you, as a village board, approve or disapprove of the amendment. We're hoping that you would approve it. If you do approve it, there are some what we think are exciting projects proposed for the site. We can't prepare to present those tonight, but I suggest we're going to hold off on that. And perhaps you invite us back when the ordinance is up before you again, and you all have all the information, and then we'll actually make the decision.
Thank you. Sir. Charles. Durham. Okay.
She just needed your name.
I'm sorry, was there a question?
No, I was just wanted to make sure I had your name correct.
Charles Durham, D-U-R-H-A-M, like Durham, North Carolina. And I'm with Ryan, R-Y-A-N, LLC. And we would be acting as the TIF consultant to both you and the developer if you approve the process.
You got a card.
I do. I'll provide it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durham. Sorry. That.
Oh, I know, can we amend the motion? Can we? To table, can't do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so the person that motioned it, I think, was trustee Thomas. So can you motion, Thompson,
So what we're doing now is asking for a motion to table.
Yes.
to
We need.
amend the vote?
Go ahead.
I thought, okay, so Attorney Fergie, the motion to table for this was already motioned and it failed. So the next step is that anybody can do it. I thought the person that motioned originally has to be the one to motion to amend it. Right.
So the motion to table failed, so now you just call the original motion.
Right.
Right, they want a motion to table it now, to reconsider, that's what it is, to reconsider the motion.
Reconsider the motion to table.
Correct.
So someone that voted against, we can ask for a motion to consider the motion to table.
So the board is saying that they want to now motion to table. So what is the steps?
So you said the motion to table failed.
Correct.
Now
we're gonna do a
somebody wants to reconsider, correct?
Reconsider.
Correct.
So then it would be someone that voted against would then ask for a motion to reconsider.
So someone that voted against would have the motion to reconsider.
Correct.
I can do it, I voted for it.
Okay. All right, you have to make, somebody who voted no has to make the motion for reconsideration.
I make the motion to reconsider.
Is-
For table.
Second by Jenkins Bell. Motion by Karen Lewis for reconsideration. Second by.
But also, just so you guys know, if it tabled, you could just say motion to remove from the agenda, and then it just comes back on the next agenda. That's just for future reference. You don't have to always table something. You can just have it removed from the agenda.
All right. Well, since we did the motion in the second, we'll move forward and we'll take that
Yeah.
point
That's
for the
just,
next time.
well, yeah, that's just something to know.
All right. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Who was that second?
That was trustee Jenkins Bell.
Okay, just so we're clear. This is a motion to reconsider
The motion to table.
the motion to table. Okay. Trustee Lewis,
Both sides.
trustee Williams. Trustee Jenkins Bell,
Both sides.
trustee Fulcher,
Both sides.
trustee Thompson. Trustee Brooks. Mayor Ruthier.
Votes aye, Madam Clerk.
Now, do we need another motion to
No.
vote on the reconsideration?
Do we need another motion for Felicia to vote on the reconsideration?
So you voted to make a motion to reconsider the motion to table. Now your motion to table comes back up.
Yeah,
All right.
So I motion to table.
wait a minute.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Okay. Okay,
I motion to table E2C, the ordinance calling for amendment to add additional properties to TIF 7.
okay, so that's Walter. Is there a second?
Is there a second? Second by trustee Brooks. Original motion by trustee Fulcher. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lewis? This is to vote again to table since the reconsideration
Both
passed.
sides.
Trustee Williams?
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins Bell? Trustee Fulcher?
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson?
Aye.
Trustee Brooks? Mayor Ruthier?
Votes aye.
So just for future reference, just so you know, like if you ever do a motion to reconsider, it can only be made by a person who was on the prevailing side. So if you did a motion, it passed, it could only be, and you wanted to reconsider, it could only be someone that voted in favor. So just so you know.
All right, thank you, Felicia. All right, here we are to our bills payable. Attached for your approval is a listing of general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on the 25th of February 2026 through March 24th of 2026. General Fund, $538,089.19. Road and Bridge, $6,182.52. Town Center Fund, $9,378.01. University Golf Club Fund, $23,057.95. Capital Project Fund, $94,984.45. Motor Fuel Tax Fund, $9,554.60. TIF 5, $1,701. TIF 7, $693.75. Payroll Fund, $4,519.52, with a grand total of $688,160.99. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
Yeah, so move. So move.
Moved by Lewis. Second by Williams. Brooks.
Just for the back to school, I seen a couple of them. I'm not to be specific. Some of them, the back to school are. I caught a couple. Is this supposed to be ahead, or are these back bills? Just because I'm getting a little confused. I know we paying some. They want their money up front.
This is in an effort to be proactive. This is not back bills. This is for the upcoming event in August.
Okay. That's it for me, Mayor. I just wanted to know about. I see something. It was check number. What was it? 114854. So I didn't know if that was a back or a front bill.
Current.
Those current? Front bills, okay. So I plan on being alive and well in August and September, we're not gonna see a double, right? I'm gonna take this and put this, I'm taking this board packet and putting it in my box at home. So I will have record of it, of this board packet. So we're not gonna see this again. I just wanna make sure. Because the reason why I said, remember what I said, trustees, regardless of the village manager of the past, one village manager made it clear, when we float a little bit above $500,000, we're spending a little too much each pay period. So, I mean, I'm not angry. I'm not saying I'm just saying that we usually average 500, about half a million each pay period.
And that's when we weren't paying bills also.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. That was them 700 and 800 before you got here, Miss Scott. Yeah. Out the TIF. But I keep that to myself.
Trustee Fulcher.
Yeah, so sound barrier and stay focused media, we're using both of them to do the video and the board meetings. Why? Why
There's
wasn't?
sound engineering that's involved, and I received several complaints from not only the public, but from board members about issues with the way it was being recorded. People couldn't hear. They were threatening to report us to the FAA. They may have reported us, and I got tired. I couldn't get it fixed. We had public works people who are not audio people. If you listen to a lot of board meetings, they have audio people, so these are the audio people that can help with the visuals, because it is important that the public is able to receive information.
So the recording part of it, though, wasn't that being done by the communications? That can't be done where she's taking care of the recording and they taking care of the sound?
She's not a sound engineer, and that's sound engineering. And
No,
it's
not
also,
to say, I'm saying we have two. We got the sound barrier and we have stay focused media. So board meeting, media coverage, and then the sound barrier, the board meeting recording. So
Yeah,
one
it's-
is the sound
and
the
one is
other
audio and
is the
sound,
recording.
yes.
So it's
It's
both of
sound
them.
engineering and then audio and recording.
So, Ms. Neva, you're still doing the recording on the... So all three is needed in order for... All three is needed in order for the board meeting to be viewed on the cable station, on the YouTube? Okay. All right, thank you.
Question? No, you asked. So, is there a way where I can get the bill list, the AP list before the moment of the meeting starting? Because we just got this.
So I don't control the board packets, how they go out. You'd have to talk to the clerk's office for that. Marlindra sends the bills payable. You also would need to talk to her about that.
Madam Clerk?
Glad you asked. I received from the executive liaison on Friday items for the agenda. I ask, is this all that's going to be on the agenda? The response was, there will probably be a couple more items. I can only send to you what's sent to me. And I remember when this board was promised to have the agenda items approved by Wednesday so they could go out to them. If I don't get it until 3 or 4:30 on Friday, that's when I can send it out.
But Madam Clerk, I thought they're talking about the bills payable.
Actually, well, the whole thing.
The whole thing?
The whole package.
That's
You
when
need-
I
You need
get
time
it.
to review.
So
Okay.
that's when I sent the agenda
All right.
packet.
All right. Any,
I had one more
trustee
question.
Fulcher.
For the Serve Pro with the water damage at Regal Farm, is our insurance going to cover any of that, or is it just we have to pay out of pocket?
Super high, so we haven't met the deductible yet. So hopefully we will, so I can submit that claim, because 11,000 is not the deductible.
Is what?
You received it
I
in
didn't
your
see the
packet,
last
the
part.
quote, but it's around 11,000, the Serve Pro, and the deductible, if I'm correct, is around 30,000, 30 or 50.
So if the deductible is 30,000, basically we got to come out of pocket and cover it, right?
Going with a lot of our claims, because we're just a step out of being self-funded.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else? Roll call. Roll.
So that's what that was for?
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk. To pay the bills.
Both sides to pay the bills.
Trustee Williams.
Both sides.
Trustee Jenkins Bell. Trustee Folger.
Both sides.
Trustee Thompson.
Votes no.
Trustee Brooks.
Abstain.
Mayor Rudez.
Votes aye to pay the bills.
Motion carried to pay.
All right. All right. Where are we? Public comments? I mean, we don't have no more public comments. Board reports, Ms. Jenkins? Oh, yeah. Ms. Truss was coming back in the public comments. Oh, we got a couple of more?
We got
Okay.
Keith Griffin.
We got Mary Truss,
I just get
Keith Griffin, and Dorian Hood.
She just signed it.
Oh, you just signed it? Okay.
Who? Keith. Will you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
That was a good call, Ms. Williams. I like that. Yeah, good job. I want to come and talk about Ms. Scott, the village manager. Ms. Scott, I really appreciate her so very much, and a lot of times I sit at home. I haven't been to very few meetings, but I'm kind of dismayed at how some of the trustees and how other people talk to her. And I'm looking at this, I don't care, this is my time. I'm looking at the fact that what she's done, I was up under 3 village managers, including Pate, who they love, and they haven't did what she did. And you know for a fact, our finances, like say this is November, our finances was closed down between November of one year to May the next year. We couldn't even pay bills. I know what I'm talking about. Ms. Scott took care of that. I know what I'm talking about. The other thing I'm kind of dismayed about the fact that they had double dipping, which is the only 2 companies that I know of, it may be more, who pay you while you're on vacation with a separate check that I know of, is the railroad and U.S. Steel. You off, you get paid a separate check. They were doing that here at University Park. Ms. Scott shut that down. I don't see why they seem to be jumping on her for doing her job, and I don't appreciate that. The golf course, I was on the board. No, I've been here longer than you have now. Yeah, so hey, I know what I'm talking about. Hey, that's all right. I watch it on TV. I know what I'm talking about. Leave me alone, woman. Anyway, we're going to do that in the bathroom. Anyway, so now, what? Anyway, like I said, the golf course, we used to pay between $600,000 to $1 million a year at the golf course. That came out of our budget. But it's not coming out of the budget now. She took care of that, and I appreciate that. Now, everybody talking about Pate. Pate was here. Pate went down to Florida and got fired within 5 months. So they saw what we didn't see. So he's not that good, what you all think he is. I appreciate you, Ms. Scott. You keep doing a good job. I hope you keep her. I really do. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this is more entertaining over here. But good evening. What I want to say to you people, hey, I hope I got your attention, but if I don't, you will be hearing from me because I need some education here. I want to know, I'm going to make this statement, I'm wondering if you guys know what an audit is and why we do audits. Maybe some of you don't, but I do. But my concern is we got about 7,000 people in this community, counting the cats and dogs and all those wild animals we have down in the southern end of this village that we can't get an animal control person for. And we are this far behind in our audits. This is utterly ridiculous. I'm going to ask you guys, those of you who don't know what an audit is and why we do audits, you still, real audits now, I'm not talking about that mammy-made stuff you put in. I want the real thing and why we have not had the audit report. I could not, when I was running my business, I could not do like this. This is utterly ridiculous. I'm for progress and I'm for growth, but I'm not for turning into an industrial park. We need residents. We need residents who want to live here. We don't need to be so gung-ho and trying to create jobs for Indiana and all of these other people who bring, if they come to this town, they bring the real jobs with them. And I know you collect a little money for a head count, but I've been here a long time, and I can count. And they are not 1, 2, 3. These are millions and thousands. And you all are not doing that. You're sitting up here arguing about positions, and you got 7,000 people, including the cats and dogs and all these wild animals, and you can't even walk on these sidewalks. I'm supposed to be walking down the sidewalks, and you're subject to break your neck on these sidewalks. They're either covered by cars or the sidewalks are broken. Or you walk in the middle of the street, and I'm not that kind of walker that I need to be pro-road in the street. You're walking, if you're on to the side, your right leg is always down and your left one is up. Because that's how you have to walk in this town. These sidewalks are terrible. You can't stroll a baby. I had a grandchild and I couldn't stroll it because your sidewalks are so bad. And you up here arguing about this little crap? 7,000 people? Lord have mercy. If you are not a Richton Park, you are not a park for us. I can't sit down and have a cup of coffee in this joint. I say joint because that's what it's getting to be. And I know, but that's okay. I know I've spent half of the time waiting to talk to you, Mr. Rudez. So I will cease my time and I'll write you.
All right, now report of officers, please. Start off with Ms. Neva Jenkins. Yeah.
Oh, there's no problem.
Good evening, Mayor Board. I'm giving you my report this evening from March
Some of the key accomplishments for the month of March was for communication outreach marketing and supported events with projects of which I support all departments was the our Excellence Expo, the Power of Her, the Black Print Blacks Showcase. Upcoming is the 2026 Resource Fair, the general election for website design, the South Lane Community Cleanup, Mo's upcoming event, Mo's Easter egg hunt, and the Juneteenth event. I've been supporting our new Public Works Director with his outstanding engagement with the community with his public service announcements. And also, I attended the Amazon Prime Air Community Awareness presentation that was at the Tinley Park Convention Center on March the 1st. I'm standing here before you to finally tell you that the cable station is up. It's been a really long time. The cable station can be found on our village website under Village Communications. Primarily, if you are a Comcast customer, you can see it on Channel 4, but you must be a Comcast customer. If you cannot see, if you are not a Comcast subscriber, you can see it on our village webpage. If you have a smart TV, you can download the Village of University Park app to your computer, to your television, and then you can see it on our webpage. And so an example of that would be, I don't know if the residents can see me with the laptop. This is the Village Communications page, and I know right now that it just looks like the sign is on here. But the reason why the sign is on here is because this is the one of the last few board meetings that we have, and I'm rerunning the board meetings, the last 3, and then eventually, even though the meetings are on YouTube, they will be airing live on this platform as well. So I'd like to thank the village manager for her patience. This was a undertaking that I just had no idea that it was going to take this long, along with other challenges along the way. So we will have local community programming, interviews with people in the community, as well as engaging the community in different holiday things like this month. The Women's History Month information is being presented right now. Different news stories that maybe University Park has been a part of, those things are on there presently. The phone app has been completed finally. And the phone app, if you go on your phone, under apps, under the Village of University Park, whether you are an Apple user, can't get in my phone, whether you're an Apple user or an Android user, you can now download the app. It just basically looks just like the icon, the logo for the icon, and there you will find the news stories on the front page of the website, of the application for agenda posting, making payments, the cable station, pay the metro station, pay your ticket, et cetera, et cetera. So when you get a chance, you can download the app and pay on, to look and see, and news stories as well. Some of the news stories that we engage on social media have their own page on the website, and then they're mirrored on the app. That's my report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jenkins.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Chris Mirabali. Oh, wait, Chris, I'm sorry. We want to do the ladies first. Ms. Willis.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. The month of March, my training transitioned into deduction reports. It included AFLAC, Colonial Life, Global Life, Legal Shield. I have also been doing the monthly pension contribution reports for both fire and police. I've also done the monthly bank reconciliation for the 3 banks that we have. Journal posting has been created for both Illinois Funds and Hinsdale's. The Blue Cross Blue Shield employee insurance journal entries have been done, as well as the IMRF wage report. Payroll consisted of tracking police department, fire department, public works, and golf course, and with financial analysis. And then my training just continues to progress from there. And that's that.
I have a question. So are you reconciling and doing a general ledger? Is that up to date, or are you doing back information?
No, it's the previous month. That's it.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
All right, Mrs. Scott.
Your email. Outside, you'll see 2 new plow trucks. I'm very proud of that accomplishment. This is the first time in over 2 decades that the Village of University Park has had brand new snow plows, not used, brand new. And I checked that through the titles. I assisted in creating the finance agenda and sent to NEVA for posting. The finance meeting where there wasn't a quorum. Held a meeting with Terrapin Aquatics for the pond maintenance, forwarded the contract for the yearly maintenance. Attended a mediation today regarding a police-involved lawsuit. Attended a meeting with Attorney John Murphy and Charles Durham 3 times this month regarding the TIF-7 adoption process and follow-up. By the way, I have started posting some of the things that are required for TIF-7 on our village page. Not announcing that yet, but that is something that I've been working on. I attended staff meeting with department heads to review upcoming projects, issues, and future work. Worked with the Public Works Director, thank you, Antoine Russell, to complete and submit the Cook County Mitigation Plan Review. On March 2nd, I attended a virtual meeting with Jason Orzinski of Crete Monee Middle School, along with their engineering firm, regarding a fire review issue. Stiganga and Lieutenant Nesbitt were in that meeting as well. Held several meetings with staff regarding the community cleanup event, which was held on Saturday, March 14th. Big thanks to Trustee Sonia Jenkins, Trustee Karen Lewis for showing up and supporting the event and assisting in the cleanup. Also, Mr. and Mrs. Vernita and Roosevelt Martin, all of the children, AKA the angels in the community, as well as the IDA Chapter 546 Order of the Eastern Star for their participation. It was a success, and we do appreciate the cleanup in the community. Met with Mrs. Grimes and reviewed the procedures for licenses, discussed ways to streamline the process for better accounting. Also provided licenses to the deputy clerk for attestation. That was last week, still waiting on those. Reviewed the golf course financials, met with the golf course director and approved purchases for upcoming events, and picked up the money for bank deposit and reconciled that. Filled out paperwork for the state of Illinois, provided additional documents for requests for cybersecurity and policy and documentation and retention. Worked with NEVA to design the village vehicle stickers, attended a meeting with Robinson Engineering to review economic development projects, had a meeting with Metro to discuss the next steps for the renovation and procurement of the east and west lots, continuing ongoing AFSCME negotiations for the CBA. Went to Public Works with Human Resources for 2 separate staff meetings this month. We had the Stepper Set event March 6th. It went off without a hitch. The following day, in honor of Women's History Month on Saturday, March 7th, we held the first panel discussion with various women who shaped the community. It was a huge success. We hope to continue this wonderful event. Some of the honorees included School District 201 Superintendent Dr. Kara Congolese, Judge Colette Safford, and Principal Bonita Anderson, the new principal for CSK. Interviewed candidates for internship. I applied for a grant from GSU, so we were awarded some interns, so I have been interviewing for that along with Human Resources. Also, Code Enforcement and Public Works Departments. Held a meeting with a representative from Dot Foods and a hotel representative to broker a deal for them to sell some parcels for hotel development. Met with Brandon Boyds from the Will County Enterprise Zone in regard to impending economic development and some incentives for those businesses. Participated in a tour of Federal Signal last week along with reps from adjacent municipalities and had a subsequent meeting with them regarding a permit application and some questions that they had regarding the process. Meeting with ServPro regarding the ongoing cleanup at Regal Farm, the flood, worked on the budget. I'm currently working with Bert Odelson's office to respond to unanswered FOIAs that I was relegated to have to answer in a complaint regarding the lack of response from the clerk's office. I'm trying to avoid another fine from unanswered FOIAs as a matter of record. There are several meeting minutes missing from the website. I'd like to read those into record, Madam Clerk. We have 0 meeting minutes for the for the year of 2026. We have 0 meeting minutes for the entire year of 2025. We only have 3 meeting minutes for the year of 2024. Mind you, there's about 25 or so meetings a year. We only have 7 meeting minutes for the year of 2023. We have 9 meeting minutes for the year of 2022. We have 16 meeting minutes for the year of 2021. We have 16 meeting minutes for the year of 2020, and we only have 11 on our website for the year of 2019. It is very difficult for me to do my job when Muni Code's not updated. I need to look up ordinances, and I rely on meeting minutes to look back on what was discussed and what was said. Also, I failed to notify the board last month that calendars are out. So there's calendars available that have pictures of the community. It's listed different events and things like that and quotes from members of the board. So if you have the opportunity, please stop by Village Hall to pick up a calendar. We will be handing them out at our events. Also, there was a comment made that audits are so far behind. We're actually working on 22. We're in 26. So we have caught up, and we've done several years of audits. Also, the audits are available on our website, so that is not in the dark. Also, I'd like to read something into record, Madam Clerk. In life, we all experience challenges to reach our goals. I want to personally thank you for your genuine love and hard work and efforts you put in for the stakeholders of University Park. As I observed in the village meeting that occurred Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, no one specifically acknowledged the passage, adoption, or approval of your UP housing plan, so I wanted you to know that your hard work does not go unnoticed. As someone who was previously in your specific seat, that housing plan you presented was a success for the stakeholders and the future of the community. I do not drink champagne or wine, but I wanted to say cheers to you. I will always walk through the fire side by side, knowing the truth. As a black man that grew up in Roseland on the south side of Chicago, I truly understand your impact and laying the groundwork for future generations and residents of University Park. Thank you. I wanted to give you flowers now and not when it's too late. Sincerely, John E. Pate, Village Collector. And those came along with flowers. And
right.
That is the ending of my report. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
And Madam Clerk, I will give you a copy of that letter handwritten from John Pate. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Barley.
For my board report, we worked on the financials for the month of December. We were involved in union negotiations. We did monthly payroll, monthly accounting. I will go over real quick over the financials just because I like to talk about them.
In
the general fund,
in the mic, please. In the mic.
The general fund ended the month of December with, come on, paper, with a surplus of $2,098,805. $2,098,805.15. That was the general fund revenue over expenses. Your special revenue funds had a deficit of $297,823.99. And your capital projects funds had a surplus of $283,559.05. $4,283,559.05 for a total governmental funds of $6,084,540.21. Your golf course fund, last year in December, you had a deficit of $712,939.80. This year, your deficit is $121,305.01, a $500,000 decrease, and that is due primarily because last year's revenue as of December was $43,000. This year's revenue as of December, $715,000. I'll leave it on that.
So, Chris, I have a question. So for
Stop yelling out.
for the monthly reports that you provided, I know you just talked about December. That's why I asked the question to the finance director. So she's up to date a month before on the reconciliations and the general ledgers. So when are you going to be able to come up to date with the monthly financials if she's reconciling up to date?
So February's activity, if I remember correctly, was just sent to us for review this week, right? So we have just now started preparing January's financials, so you should have January's financials within the next couple of weeks.
Right, so that'll be January. I'm just stating, she just said the February. So we want to be caught up, like the month before, that's the financials, monthly financials that we should be receiving.
We've always had, you guys, always has been a 2-month process based on everything to get everything reviewed, and you guys all have them by this board, before this board meeting for your guys' review and analysis. I want to make sure I understand what your guys' request is. You would like monthly financials 1 month in arrears of the board meeting.
Right, so just like for this board meeting, which is, we in March, right? Yeah, headed to April. So February's monthlies, we should be able to see February's monthly at the March. So for the April board meeting, regular board meeting, we should be seeing the March monthlies information.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you.
All right. You done, Mr. Mirabali? Chief Stiganga.
Good evening, board, trustees, and residents. For March of 26, the fire department, we kind of assisted in Kankakee when they had the tornado back when we were supposed to have the COW meeting. They did have an EF3 tornado touchdown. It wiped out a lot of Aroma Park and touched a lot of Kankakee. Our engine was there from about 7 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning, helping them residents out and look for people. Our February month was actually a little bit slower, which is actually really good for the residents. It means the medical calls were down and our fire calls were down. It means the community is pretty safe. On March 12th, we did have a school bus accident that involved some children, and we ended up going to what we call the Mavis box alarm system, which brought in neighboring towns to assist us on getting these children off to the hospital and also the people that were in the car. Thankfully, it was not a very serious accident. Everybody was very minor, but we had to initiate the Mavis box alarm system. Our fire inspections are kind of starting to wrap up a little bit. We have roughly 254 fire inspections done out of 300 plus inspections. So that's getting wrapped up. And that'll be the end of my board report.
Good evening, everybody. I spent the last 3 weeks just basically assessing the station and the personnel and seeing what things I need to prioritize. Just a couple of highlights, and just to acknowledge the manpower. The stats for the month of February, from February 22nd to March 24th, the officers wrote a total of 186 tickets. They also responded to 181 calls of service for the month of February. But you have to remember, we are shorthanded. We have 2 guys on the street during the day and 3 guys at the night. So they're humping pretty good just for the manpower, and they're assisting other towns. They're doing what they can. We met with Axon. Axon is the camera company that we use. We had a contractual agreement for free upgrades, which was never done. We then contacted them, and we got the upgrade on the body cameras, which are the Axon 4s. They have been delivered to the department, and officers are going to receive training in those prior to having them deployed. Body cameras are extremely important when it comes to officer safety, when it comes to liability issues. Cameras are a must-have, a must-have. We are exploring grant options for getting cameras in our squad cars. Currently, none of our squad cars have cameras. And funding and things, it's an expensive task. And so now that grants are available, we want to take advantage of that because, once again, liability, officer safety, I'm pushing that. We're also looking into putting cameras into our interview rooms, putting cameras into the station, bringing things up to speed a little bit more technology-wise. I'm a little bit of a clean freak, so yeah. So I've been cleaning up the station a lot. The conference room has been cleaned out. I've thrown out a lot of broken furniture that's been sitting there over the years, from what I am told. I donated 13 bikes, 2 scooters, 6 folding tables to charitable organizations that can use them. I'm currently trying to donate. We have a couple of cases of brand new female tap shoes that I'm trying to hopefully donate to maybe some organization in town that can use them, that will save some parents some money, because tap shoes are not cheap. So I'm hoping to get that out. My cleaning will continue. The police garage is being cleaned out because I want to restore both the bays to full functionality. The garage door opener on one of the bays was broken for about 8 to 9 months, from what I understand. That's now fixed and working. I'm getting things basically out because it needs to be functional. The guys need to be able to pull their crooks in and not park outside and walk in. That's a safety hazard. Federal Signal, they currently are processing one of our cars. When I say processing, they're putting a build on, putting all the emergency equipment in. We're trying to do away with a couple of the trucks that are giving us problems, and they're becoming money pits. So, you know the old saying, how many mandates you go put on this pig? No, we're going to put that pig out the pasture and get something that's going to be reliable. So, we have what's called a critical incident notification system that we're working on, and that's for transparent before the board for anything critical right now. You guys should be able to get it through an email. But we're working on to advance that, so now you will get it in email and also a text message, and you'll get real-time updates. So when things important happen in town, for example, the bus accident you were talking about, you would get the email, and you will also get the text and things of that nature. So we're working on that. I'm a big proponent of training. I got 2 officers right now. They're attending evidence processing training. They need to have the tools to do the job. We have a software that's called Frontline FTO. What Frontline FTO is, it's a field training software. You have 2 major training models. You have Sokolov, and then you have the San Jose model, where most of the Midwest use the Bruce Sokolov model. And basically what this software does, it allows the FTO to train in real time in the squad cars. Instead of having everything on paper, everything's documented. I'm hoping to get tablets, to help with storage, because that way they can review policy, they can review activity, they'll have everything at the touch of their hands, which will make their training job a lot easier. Sitting in that passenger seat, I did it for a lot of years. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you're trying to handwrite everything and you jump out on calls, or you have 3 or 4 calls that you have to manage. This software will help them. It also helps us with the storage, because with field training records, they must be kept for 99 years. This places the responsibility on Frontline. Everything's online. They're responsible for the storage of the records. Because if something happens 20 years from now, the first thing they're going to pull are the field training records. And if our records are intact, and if they are precise, that will relieve us of any liability of failure to train, which is case law. So I'm a big proponent of that. I'm being told that the officers are being more visible in the neighborhoods. I've been stressing that. I know we had a couple of shootings on Morningside and Hickory. I went out there myself, Patrick Simpson, we went out there together, talked to a lot of people. Investigator Pyramid's been out there talking and doing a lot, so I thank you for all your hard work, because he's done a lot. He's also doing our backgrounds for a lot of possibilities. We are reviewing a lot of backgrounds from applications that we are just now getting, that have been here for a little bit. We are going through all of them. And we're hoping to get laterals, we're hoping to get part-timers. I'm hoping to get some young guys in the academy, because this place, we need some young guys. We need some young guys. So I'm looking at all of that. We're expanding the flock camera system. What the flock camera system is, it allows us to look at license plates. For example, if there's a hit and run and the person takes off and let's say they go, let's just say northbound on Western, and we can access a flock camera, get that license plate, and possibly get that information, which helps with the investigations to track people down. Flock is used in a lot of agencies. It was on the news recently, which I understand, but it's used in a lot of agencies. I'm going to introduce a proposal for adding medical kits to the squad cars. Basically, a basic medical kit, tourniquets, bandages, chest seals, something that if there's, because usually, and not knocking you guys, but usually with fire calls, police are already on the street. We get there first. If there's something we can do that can help stabilize a person till you guys come and do the real job, I want to make sure those guys have that capability to do that. Let's see where we're at. We're working on adding the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. parking access and house watches. I'm going to make that digital so it'll be available on the website. So if someone has company coming in, they can go to the website, they can say, please don't ticket the blue Lincoln ABC 123 parked at 123 Main Street, that is guests from out of town. The officers can access that, and then we know, okay, this isn't just a random car. They requested to have that. You know, I also wouldn't mind trying to do what's called an exemption sticker. For example, let's say there's a house and 5 adults have cars. All cars can't fit in the driveway. So why should they take turns parking on the street and risk getting that 2 to 6 ticket? If they get their village sticker and they provide adequate registration, they should be able to get what's called an exemption sticker to put under their sticker. So if the officers are driving by there, they can see that and know, okay, well, this car belongs here. I'm not going to ticket that car. You know, which will save a lot of headache for a lot of residents, because I get that. I got 6 cars in my house. You know, my girls live up north and all their cars are at my house. We're looking at the ammo supplies for the range, you know, and there's a couple of cleaning equipment that I need to buy, that I would like to buy, to be in accordance with OSHA. When it comes to OSHA requirements with the range, when you shoot, there's a lot of lead in your ammunition. And OSHA requirements state you cannot use a broom to sweep up the brass and everything, because it disturbs the lead. There's been studies whereas a lot of range officers, myself included years ago, high levels of lead from cleaning the range. So there are instruments now that you can push over the casings that doesn't disturb the dust, but it picks them up and helps clean. So that way we remain OSHA compliant and things like that, and it's safety for the range officers. So I'm looking into all of that. The evidence room is still being prepared. I'm hoping to get an approval for a Fortress solution. What Fortress Solutions is, they are forensic auditors, and they will go in and they will do an audit of our evidence to make sure everything is in there, everything is labeled correctly, everything is how it's supposed to be. They're all retired Illinois State Police. This is their job. So just accountability. You got to get a baseline from somewhere. So I'm trying to establish baselines. From there, we have a speed trailer that hasn't been used yet. I've been on the phone with Stalk for the last 2 days. Hopefully we'll have that up and running by the end of the week. So I've called that guy several times. You know, he knows me by heart. He picks his phone up and he calls me by first name now. So, because I need to get that up and running and get that out, especially in high traffic areas. If there's areas that have a lot of accidents, put it out there as a deterrent. Make people slow down. So I'm working on getting that done. Working on replacing some of the broken workstations in the police room. I want to give these guys an environment that's conducive to doing good work. You know, if I'm in there and I see their report desk halfway leaning down and they have to go like this, that's not good. They need to have a proper workstation to do their job. You know, and without the risk of something being broken, without the risk of something not being correct for them. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on hopefully investigating the water problems that are in the PD. When it rains, it floods. It literally floods. We have an issue with our shooting range right now, where when it rains, the water pours down, and we have one of the rails for the targeting system is starting to rust. I'm hoping to try to stop that some kind of way, because that's creating another bill. If they got to fix that, if they have to fix that, that's another bill. So we can stop that from happening. Water coming down into the locker rooms down there. You know, I need to get that fixed. You know, because the locker rooms are barely usable because of the water, and that's an issue. That's a safety issue, because some of that water is coming down through conduit, and we all know water and electric do not mix. So I'm hoping to try to get to the bottom of that. And right now, that's the end of my report. I'm going to keep chugging away.
All right, well, great report. Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you.
Okey doke. Public Works, Mr. Russell.
I promise I'm gonna be quick. It's getting late in here. I can see everybody starting to yawn. All right. Good evening, Mayor, Village Manager, Scott, members of the Board of Trustees, and residents of University Park. I stand before you tonight with a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility. I am honored to serve as your Public Works Director during this crucial time of transition and growth and renewed focus on infrastructure and community service. This marks my 16th day in the role. While the timeline is short, the work has been significant, immediate, and impactful. It has literally been baptism by fire. I know. But I want to speak a little bit about my leadership transition and background. Since this is my first meeting and my first time meeting the board officially and the first time meeting residents, I will go a little bit. I'm going to be very short and brief as possible. By way of background, my professional career has been rooted in public service and government operations, most notably in law enforcement leadership. That experience instilled in me discipline, accountability, and service-first mindset. Today, I bring the same psychology into public works: service before self, accountability to the taxpayers, results driven by integrity. Additionally, I currently serve as an elected highway commissioner, which provides me with a broader operational and fiscal perspective on infrastructure, roadway management, and sustainability in government practices. Some of my 16-day operational highlights. I first want to thank Trustee Jenkins and Trustee Lewis for their diligent efforts in spearheading our cleanup day. I kind of heard both of them say they really appreciate Public Works, because that 30 minutes, that 1 hour of cleanup day was intense. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for spearheading that. But in my first 16 days, I think maybe day one, I got a call at 7:25 from Chief about a sinkhole on Dryly Road, which I've greeted a lot of residents on that day that met me trying to close the road off, telling me that this has been a problem for many, many years. It's just now kind of exposed itself. I'm sure the residents have seen our PSAs regarding Dryly Road and that sinkhole. The road is closed. Did y'all see me? Okay. So signs will be coming. The village manager has ordered the signs. We will be posting them up. Again, just trying to cover liability from the village or for the village, so that way, you know, people don't continue to ride down Dryly Road. We are working diligently to try to get that fixed and corrected. Also, within my first 16 days, if you all can remember, we had a windstorm We had some trees down. I had trees inside of people's cars. I had trees on top of people's houses. I want to commend my staff for doing such a great job. We are limited with staff. I'm operating at about a 7-man crew and no foreman. So we are operating very shorthanded. But on that day, during that windstorm, during our ice storm, our staff showed up and showed out. I really do want to commend those guys for being professional and always doing the best that they can with what we have. Also, during my first 16 days, we've been committed to our storm drains, our storm drain rehabilitation, and our storm drain cleaning, aggressively cleaning our storm drains, and moving debris from around our storm drains. As you know, this is spring season, so the leaves are falling, or fall season, we're recovering from it. So the leaves are falling, and they're falling into the drains, which is starting to cause the plumbing issues, may start to cause plumbing issues in people's residents and flooding. So we've had an aggressive cleanup method towards that. Also, our PBB, patch by block strategy. Our PBB, patch by block strategy. Yes, residents, board members, mayor, village manager, I do receive consistent, daily complaints about potholes. Your complaints and your daily responses are not being unheard. I have instructed staff, and staff has worked diligently. 2-man crew on patching daily, trying to answer and respond to our emergency responses, our emergency potholes. We do get the pictures of the broken axles and the busted tires, and we try to respond to those immediately. The village manager does not let me go sleep without knowing that that pothole is there, and she does not let me rest until that pothole is fixed. So I want you to know that the department and our manpower is doing the best we can with the potholes and the equipment that we do have. Also, just to speak and piggyback on our department capacity, we are operating, like I say, a 7-man crew with a resident count of over 7,000 residents and an approximate, correct me if I'm wrong, 19 square mile village. So that's probably about 1 employee to every 1,000 residents that is responsible for the beautification of our town and our community. So again, I just stress for the residents, mayor, village manager, and board to give us a little grace and understanding. Trust me, if you see Public Works, wave at them, give them a coffee. They might need it. Not because they're trying not to work, but because we are overworking them. And I do care about mental health, which is why we have started I have instituted this 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Morning roll call. We call it roll call in policing. I call it morning huddle in Public Works. I know the staff probably he just like hearing himself talk for 15 minutes. But no, I'm actually giving them time to debrief and leave home at home and come to work. And I'm also checking their capability, their fit for duty during that time. And I give them time to decompress. I also give them time to tell me what they see and what we need to do today. It is totally a roll call or a morning huddle with the entire staff that I do every day. So from 7 o'clock to 7:15, if I'm not answering you trustees, it's only because I'm meeting with staff. But at 7:16, I promise I'll get right back to you. Like Madam Village Manager spoke about, I am so proud, jokingly, about our new 5-ton plows outside. Jokingly, when the VM said, hey, we got some new trucks coming, I said, oh, okay, you want me to get the old trucks ready for Enterprise? She said, what? I said, are we giving those to Enterprise? He said, we bought those. And that is a true honor, as a true commitment to fiscal responsibility, and it is something that in my experience, you know, with villages and municipalities struggling financially, that is a huge accomplishment for the VM, and to have done that and to be the first time it's been done in 2 decades, I do want to commend her for that. And I'm telling you, I take it more seriously if a scratch get on any one of them vehicles than she told me I better. But to bring some more humor to it, we have jokingly named both vehicles. at the garage. We have joke names for both vehicles. I mean, you all might be too young to know these names, you know, but we have named the vehicles inside, and we will have a community engagement contest presented later. But right now, so the plow you see outside that has no plow, the name of that truck is Carly B. Cardi B. Yeah, Cardi B. Cardi B will be used for our parades, surrounding communities. She's going to be really decorated. The marking that we're going to have for that truck and the lighting for that truck will be on display as a representation of DPW and University Park as a whole. Throughout other villages and parades, we will be using that vehicle. You won't see her moving around a lot because, again, she cannot get a scratch on her. But for right now, our garage name for the plow that you see outside with nothing on it is Carly B. The plow that you do see outside with a plow in front of it is, y'all might be too young for this, but Nicki Minaj. Yeah, Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj has a plow on the front, and she will be working. She will be the workhorse for the community. You will see a lot of her throughout. And again, as a community engagement thing, me and our PR staff and team are working with a contest to have our trucks, our plows named by the community. All can participate. You'll see that going out shortly. Because again, I'm a firm believer in community engagement. So I can't do this alone. You know, I always say I'm a leader, not a manager, and best leaders listen. So I have to listen to what the community wants, and the community engagement is one of my biggest attributes. Fiscal responsibility. I am committed to that. I am committed to the strategies of spending and ensuring taxpayers' dollars are spent efficiently. Still got y'all asleep yet? Just making sure y'all woke. All right, so no, just bring a little more humor again. My dad jokes, my daughter laughs at him. She's at Howard University. You know, she always say, Dad, you're not funny, but I think I'm funny, you know. So anyway, like I said, in closing, I want to say thank you to the mayor, First Lady, Manager Scott, Board of Trustees, and the residents for first giving me my first opportunity to be Public Works Director for a community. I take great pride in that, and I'm very passionate about doing a great job for you and not just for myself. So to that end, I am Antoine T. Russell. In case you Google me, it's the T, not just no T. And I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to serve you guys. Any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
I just have a...
Thank you so much.
I have a comment. I just wanted to, I do appreciate the, as you said, the announcements on Facebook, like what you're doing and different things that's going on from Public Works. So Ms. Neva and Mr. Russell, that does help communicate with the residents. So when I do see those, I do read them, and then it gives me information in case residents reach out to me, have questions about something, then I know what exactly I can tell them. So I appreciate those.
No problem, trustees. So Public Works tries to have a PSA for the afternoon and the morning, just showing what we're doing to the community so that way you don't think that we're not doing nothing. Again, I stress that we are short-staffed. So as one resident said, I don't see the trucks enough. We only got 3 moving at one time. So, you know, and we have an industrial area that I've met with over there, and their joke was, how long will you be here? And it wasn't a joke. It did kind of hurt my feelings. I said, well, I'm going to be here long enough for you to make a business chamber of commerce together as a unit and bring your collective complaints to the board or to me. So, but again, that is something that we will keep instituting, an AM PSA and an afternoon PSA.
Thank you so much. What a great report.
Thanks.
Welcome aboard, sir.
Thank you.
I hope we don't have to use the snow plows anymore this season.
No, me too.
All right. Mr. Ellis, you got something tonight? All right. We'll start with Trustee Lewis. Did I get all the staff? All right, Trustee Lewis, please.
I want to say thank you to the residents that voted for me for Precinct 5. I want to say I do respect the job of DPW. We were out there for an entire hour trying to get in the bushes. I understand what you all do, and it's not an easy task to do that. Trustee Jenkins and myself and Robin, with all the kids, we got out there and we did the best that we can within like the hour. The kids stayed another 2 or 3 hours doing their due diligence back there, and they did a great job. I want to say we do respect DPW because that was not an easy task. I want to say up-and-coming events that are coming. I want to say that the Women's Excellent event was really nice. That was a great event. It was. Stop laughing, Mary. And I want to say that the golf course is really, really turning around to where it used to be. And it's good to see residents that I ride with on the train say, so glad you brought things back to our community where we can only go 5 minutes and not 45 minutes to the city. I done lost my train of thought. But that's the end of my report.
Trustee Jana, you got something tonight?
Yes, good evening, everyone, or late night. I too want to comment on the women's event that we had. We had a lot of great women there. The panel was excellent. The moderator was excellent. Us talking back and forth, discussing women issues, things that we have accomplished and go unheard. It was an excellent, excellent event. I also attended the meet and greet that we had at the golf facility and got to chit-chat with the new chief. It was very nice to be up close and personal and to get to know him on a better base. Also, I took 23 calls this month so far for Aqua. Our residents are still complaining. Even Trustee Fulcher gave me a question concerning water. I'm hoping that at this resource event that I can have a table, because I'm still working with the IEPA, and they want to know what residents are still complaining, what residents' water is not compliant. They personally, not Aqua, not Rambo, but IEPA will want to bring their technicians to your home if you sign up. So I will have sign-up sheets for people that want to see if their water is compliant, because we're coming up on the 7th anniversary, June 14th, in which I'm hoping to spearhead a town hall Aqua meeting on that date and get representatives out here. Patrick Joyce, Janine Bartino, anyone that I know that can bring awareness to this issue. Our kids are still in schools. They have to send my grandson with a bottle with his name on it every day. That's ridiculous. So I want to have a town hall meeting, get people out here, because this can't happen anywhere else. But it's happening in our community because we're mainly people of color. Then I got complaints about that odor again. They say that sludge, it smells like chitlins, it smells terrible. I have people on Pine Circle calling me, advising me they can't take it in the morning. They can't even open their windows if they wanted to. It's still filtering in their home. That's awful. And we don't know what we're breathing. We don't know what effects it has on us, none of the above. We're paying 2 water bills, guys. We're paying one to Aqua and one to the grocery stores, or if you're having water delivered. That makes no sense to me. So I'm not gonna lay down on this. I'm gonna make sure I get these events in place so that we can bring the right coverage, the right attention out here. And I wanted to also thank the chief on that awesome report. You just got in the seat, but you already are doing the darn thing. And I appreciate that. Same with the Public Works Director. I'm impressed. I'm glad to hear that there are boots on the ground. People are moving. People are trying to improve this community. We need development. We need growth. We can't keep shunning and acting like, oh, we don't need that, we don't need this. Yes, we do. Because like the mayor has said, we're not just doing it for us, we're doing it for the future. If there's no growth, if something's not growing, it's dying. And I don't want to see it die. I want to see it thrive. I want to see us move in the right direction. So I hope that future meetings, there won't be all this conflict, confusion, that we can kind of get to a place where we can meet and that we can agree or try to work together at least. I mean, I know no one's going to just 100%, but if we could just try to work together and show the community that we're working for you. I'm not up here just doing this for me, I'm doing it for y'all. And I've been doing it for a long time. That's why when he brought up 2017, that was like a Memorex memory. I can tell you who was in the room, what trustees was here, and what was happening with the funds. Because I went to not only the board meetings, the finance meetings, and I served on the Plan Commission. And I also want to mention upcoming Memorial Day. As you know, I'm the liaison to the veterans. So we're also wanting people that want your loved one on a banner like you see in the other communities hanging from the light posts. I'm spearheading that. We're going to get information out where you can fill it out, and we'll tell you what the cost will be. We hope to observe half the cost and the resident observe the other costs. But I think it would be awesome to salute our veteran community, to celebrate them, because they give so little and they give so much and get so little. So it's time for us to make sure that we're representing the veterans, and I hope when we have this memorial program that you all will come out, participate. Every year we do it, it gets bigger and better every year. So I hope to see you all there. And all I want to say is God bless, and I hope that we can continue to do great things and not be people that just want to talk about it, destroy us, say negative things on social media sites. Let's be positive. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much, well-spoken, Trustee Williams. Trustee Donna?
Good evening, residents, board. I just wanted to thank those that voted for me back in for the Precinct 1 Precinct Committee person. I thank you all. And also, congratulations to all the candidates that did win and to all the candidates that did run, because running, it takes a lot out of those that do run. So I appreciate all those that have, because that's basically saying that you've been a public servant and you care about your community. So I thank you all as well. I attended the Will County Democrats meeting last month, and there was a couple takeaways that I just wanted to bring out. The Southland Friends of Labor was there. They're very much for to say that they just want labor, and they want to support all those that are going to be bringing in big infrastructure deals, like they say yes to the airport, they say yes to data centers, and they say yes for the union. In their perspective, the Democratic Party and unions should be one. There's a total of 24 unions that is a part of the Southland Friends of Labor, and they support those that support them. A couple other things was the right to work. Governor Pritzker has passed a bill to never be a right to work state, which means work for less. So here in Illinois, that bill, that the right to work bill, it makes it where you're not working for less than what you should. Another thing is about the responsible bidder ordinance. The Department of Labor approved that, which is also good. There was the Butch-Lewis Act that was done by Biden, where pensions were rescued at that time, and it helped for the police and fire, their pensions. The SAVE Act, which is a very important one that's going on right now, which is where we want to make sure that we vote no for. And the reason is basically trying to change the whole voting, how you can vote. So they want to get rid of the early voting, the mail-in voting, and that SAVE Act, which affects a big portion, millions and millions of women, because in order to vote, you have to show your driver's license. And as you know, a lot of women, when they get married, they change their name. I didn't change mine, but they change their name. And when they change their name, that means that their birth certificate and license is not going to match up. So in order to do that, it prevents people from going to get that done. So they would have to get passports and stuff like that. And a lot of people are not going to do all that, pay for passports, because it costs money. It costs way much more than what a license does. So, it's expensive. So, I mean, and then you have to renew it. Actually, the renewal used to be, I thought it was like 10 years, but I think, is it still 10? Okay. But a lot of people are not just going to do that. So it's going to prevent a lot of people from actually being able to vote. So asking the residents to reach out to your representatives to say vote no to the SAVE Act. I know right now the president is trying to hold off with supporting the TSA workers for they can be paid, where I know that the Democrats is stating that we want to work out a deal, but the president as of right now is saying, don't make any deal unless they pass my SAVE Act. And that's not an act that we want passed. So reach out to your representatives on that. And that was it for that. Anything upcoming, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to thank you all. I wanted to make sure I give you all a report of where I've gone to for the meetings. That's to make sure that the University Park is being represented in those Eastern Will County meetings. Trustee Lewis was there with me as well. I think Trustee Jenkins was there as well too. So we wanted to make sure that University Park is representing Eastern Will County when it comes to what they're doing in the legislation. So thank you.
Thank you much. Trustee Thompson.
Good evening again, residents, mayor, and board. I don't understand why it's offensive to ask a question or to have a different opinion about a topic. I don't understand what's offensive about that. I was voted in, I was elected to be a representative of the people of University Park. I was not elected to look after my own interests or the interests of my friends. I was voted to look out for the interests of the most amount of people. So sometimes it's a hard decision, but you have to make a decision that benefits the most amount of people, not just a few people. I don't understand why it's offensive to want transparency. We need transparency. That's how we're gonna keep our checks and balances in order. We need to return on this board to regular order of business, and that's an orderly way of doing things, the orderly way of doing business for this community. All trustees should know the same information, not just a few. And then we all want development. We want to grow. We want to bloom, but we want to do it in the right way. We don't want it to be a tainted process. We want it to be in order. And that's all I'm looking for. I'm asking again for residents, please come out to the board meeting so you can see what's happening in your hometown. We live here. This is our home. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. That's not my home anymore. I've been here almost 40 years. This is my home. And I want it to be preserved, and I want it to move forward. But I want it to move forward in order, not out of order. And please, again, come out to the meeting. And thank you. Be safe.
Thank you. Trustee Brooks. No. You got something, Madam Clerk?
Hello, hello. There we go. Good evening, everyone. I just would like to say that tonight my comments would be directed more towards tonight's agenda. What I mean by that is that Trustee Thompson pretty much said everything everyone probably was thinking that had a question or needed to be addressed. But I'm definitely going to say this. Attacking anyone, even if it's me, does not address the agenda in hand. I'll say it again. Attacking me or anyone else does not address the agenda in hand. What it does is that it does nothing but distract and deviate from the true conversation that should be had. I find it strange that a lot of people come up to the podium, or some people choose to airbrush history. Well, let me say something. I heard something that was just far-fetched, untrue. The day I raised my hand, John Pate was not the village manager. It was John Townsend. Because among that night, I did tell John Townsend, please get the cable station, put it up there that Channel 4 will be returning, and she did it. She did it. So when we start swinging at John Pate, let me say something about John Pate. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. But here's the truth. I spoke tonight about the ordinance. I don't know his thought process. I don't know what, I'm hearing this 1800, whatever. All I know was there was an ordinance on the books that we don't need anymore. I didn't care who pocket it was going to fill and who was going to Florida, and 5 months later what's going to happen. That's the part where I say people airbrush history because the facts get twisted. So he has every right to defend himself now, just like if he says something, people have the right to defend themselves. But I'm going to tell you, if you campaign with me, what did I tell you? Stop all that nonsense. Let's stay focused on the prize. And some of us got there. And so I say the same thing for that. I will say in 2017, when somebody gets up and airbrush all the great things and say, well, Elizabeth Scott did this. Well, let me stop one individual who wants to get up there and he wants to throw his 2 cents in there and say, you all love John Pate. John Pate was the chief of police when I became the trustee. And if they had a problem with John Pate, they could have got rid of him, but they didn't. They liked him just as much as some people say, you all in love with him. Yeah, you loved him too. And I just think it's unfair for these shots to be thrown at everybody. What I don't like is the true facts. Let's go there with facts. Golf course, CHW Group. Wasn't Miss Scott. It was 4 trustees doing a special meeting because I witnessed checks damn near up to $250,000 cut on the previous village manager going to that company, and the golf course wasn't open. Let's talk about what IRH? What is it I'm saying? Let's talk about them. So when people start saying, what did you do? Guess what? Some things we could not do, because when people come up and start running their mouth, were they not part of the board that was in the board? And I think a trustee and a resident was with me when they heard a federal agent say, we ain't never heard that before. So let's talk about the chaos that was there back then, when that was then. And that's not us now. We have moved on from that. It's time for us, as I heard a trustee say, grow. Because one of those mess that was locked in, IRH, that board within the board, which y'all didn't know, was that we was taken hostage by that company, and we had to kick out an extra $250,000. So when it was all over, we paid almost $900,000 for somebody to tell you you need that you 22 or 21 million in the hole. Man, please. That's how money was getting tossed around back then. That's how money was getting tossed around. We were so broke. Yes, Ms. Scott should be able to buy 2 trucks. Because do you know what it feel like that these guys was riding around? The number on the first of the police unit is the year of that unit. The second one is the number of that car. In 2017, we were riding around. We had to go get our vehicles from Texas. And that was John Pate hunting for it. We were so broke. And the day the mayor lifted his hand, we had $650,000 in the bank, and that wasn't gonna last. So we came a long way. When I got here, I don't want to hear nothing anybody coming up here from the past. Don't tell me a damn thing until you, Miss Brooks, see me come home on the first day and I'm in tears because we over 40+ million in the hole of lawsuits and debt. And we want to sit here and attack this person and that person. I'm about to slow it down because Easter is coming. I want us to rebirth. I was here when John Conspera Group signed. You weren't here, but I was one of those trustees that voted for it. I've been here. I went ahead and shaved my beard because it's not even black no more. It ain't even gray. It's white. So that tells me what this board does to you. I didn't even age that fast as a policeman. I'm aging. I also got sick. So I leave by saying that when people, I know we can make progress. Before I came to this board, think about what I did. We all remember I hired, as the chairman of the Police and Fire Commission, I see one of the commissioners, she's still on the board. We hired 8 policemen, I believe, 7 policemen and 2 firefighters with 2 promotions. That's progress in this village. It's time for us to go right back to that. And that was in 2015. So we're going the right track. I'm listening. I want to thank the police chief. I was sitting there listening. I started smiling because everything he named off, guess what? He'll tell you and I tell you, in 2004, Country Club Hills and Hamilton, we had all that equipment. And I was just sitting here thinking, oh my God, we don't even have cameras. Harvey had cameras in 1997. I used to hit the mic when I go in on a domestic. It's time for us to get to that point. We are so far behind. But Chief, I want to welcome you publicly on board for coming on and to hear your report. I really appreciate it. The Public Works Director, I gotta smile a little bit. So this is when I say, please please share with us what you're doing. Because this man, I'm happy the fact that it's him, because it's come out that I know him. He went to Thornton. I was right there. Karen will tell you, his smile was so familiar. And I said, why you just didn't come in the SRO office? He was like, well, but everything he said they want to do, thank you, because he'll tell you when we have parades, don't we have them trucks in those parades, brand new? Everything he wants to do, we already do across I-80. That's all I've been trying to do here, give you what I experienced working 2 municipalities. That's all I tried to do. I don't care what anybody say. I'm not going to lead you wrong. I don't care. But I just want to be treated the same way trustees ask to be treated. I don't care about who did what, who was the village manager. Tonight, I made my point 3 times. Sometimes I think I heard someone say, I don't know if it was you, trustee, sometimes you keep answering the same question over and over. That was you, Madam Clerk. There you go. I knew it was one. It was one, right. We keep asking the same question. You get the same answer. So, right. So, listen, Easter is coming. Before the next board meeting, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. Let's remember the purpose of Easter. And I just asked that, I know I took up 9 minutes because I wanted to time myself, but I had to get this off my chest that sometimes rebirth, if we're Christians, after April 14th, I think I read it right, April 14th, we should be new trustees when we come back in here for the cow. We want development. We want all those things. Let's just please get the documents early. And I think you all have seen for the past 2 months, we just said, Mayor, let us know. Ms. Grimes, I was going to vote yes for Ms. Grimes. Don't take offense because I did the same thing with Ms. Scott. It's not you. It's how it's done. And all I ask is for respect. I've been up here. Please, that's all I want. But for you, I wish you well. You were polite to me the first day I walked in the village hall. She was. And I should not have to go do my research for tonight when I asked for a resume 2 weeks ago. It's unfair for me. That's my whole point. I don't care who met her before then. The fact is that I'm Trustee Brooks. You as trustee whoever should say, I think you should meet Trustee Brooks. I think Trustee Brooks should receive a resume. So we told the chair, please give a resume. So Ms. Grimes, you would have had to been a yes. And I say it for the record, you were going to be a yes. But sometimes some people need to know I'm not playing with them. But I wasn't going to say no to hurt you. I was going to abstain and let them know you had my vote, sir. And I told them that. And I think another trustee was in the same boat. It was a disrespect tonight. So you had 2 extra votes that went out the window because somebody felt their choice, their option was first. But good luck to you and God bless. Have a happy Easter. I yield my time until we meet again. God bless.
Trustee, Madam Clerk, you got something tonight? Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. I would like to begin by saying, welcome aboard from me to our new police chief, our director of public works, finance director, and I wanted to say to Ms. Grimes, it's not always like this. Don't let them scare you away. It really isn't. You know, but I sat here today. I listened. I won my bet with the mayor because I felt that this would go on and on. University Park. I hear people talk about when I moved out here. I don't think there's anybody in this room who's lived here longer than I have. When I moved out here, you could count the people of color on one hand. So I've seen this community move toward what it was projected to be, but we've got a long way to go unless we start practicing the Clio model. What's the Clio model? K-L-E-O. We got to keep loving each other. You don't have to like each other, but if you love each other and love yourself, you will treat each other with respect. Together, we can move ahead. If we keep castrating people's characters or acting like crabs in a barrel, we can't go anyplace. Just think about it. Fill up a barrel with crabs. In order to keep them in there, you've got to sit on top of that barrel. So you're not going anyplace either. I am proud of what our police chief, our public works department, our finance department, and our communications department, with all of the ideas that you have and the things that you want to bring to this community. It's tantalizing to hear. And I urge this community and this board to get behind our people. Let our leaders lead and stop expecting you make all the decisions without input. We have to all work together. So again, I say, welcome aboard. Love ye one another. You don't have to like them, because sometimes you don't even like yourselves. So I promised I wouldn't speak more than 2 minutes because Trustee Brooks took up all my time. But together we stand, divided we fall. Cleo, everybody.
Thank you. Trustee Jenkins, I apologize. I'm sorry. Go right ahead, Trustee.
First of all, I would like to say my condolences to the Hill family. They lost Mrs. Cynthia Hill last Saturday. And so my heart goes out to their family, and the services are coming up. She was one of the founding members of the University Park Baseball Organization. Yeah. She was our first treasurer at that time, and her family was invaluable when it came down to supporting this community any way that she could, and she will be missed. Also, I would like to say this: integrity is doing the right thing when no one else is looking.
There you go.
Communication, collaboration, and compromise is what's next. As I sit here today, I want to also thank the residents that came out tonight and listened to us, and we took different viewpoints, and also the residents that are still here. We have to look at the situation and ask ourselves, are we doing the right thing? And when we're doing the right thing, is it for us or is it for the community? I've been accused of being a yes woman, and I'm not. Everything I do is for this community and the greater good of everyone that is in this community. Just because we don't have the same ideologies or we don't side on the same issues at the same time does not mean anybody is rubber stamped. It just means that you have your own convictions and you want to do what's right and what's necessary for this community. We all sit and talk about each other. We don't support one another as a board. We'll have somebody saying we sit on the right side and we sit on the left side. I was on this board in 2019. I remember we had no money whatsoever, a dime, a dollar, or a donut. And now we have money. The person that has been instrumental in making sure that we are financially getting on our feet should not be ostracized. She should be respected, and if not agreed with, respected. We don't know things before the agenda comes. We are not privy to information like you all think we are and accusing us of having. We don't. I know I don't. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for myself. So when I get the information, I get it pretty much when you get it. And I read it when you read it. And when you bring up good viewpoints, I say, okay, but when it's something that I don't agree with, I'm not gonna do it. And that's just where I'm at. Because where I'm at is moving this village forward. It's moving it forward because I'm under the impression, I don't know if you guys know, that we had an opportunity to get Caterpillar. But because we did not act the way we needed to act, Monique has Caterpillar. So it went to Monique. So these are things that are important. We're trying our best. We're doing our best to do our best. And we are. And we're not doing this with any malice, any hatred, any type of political motivation. I can't say that. I can say that I'm not. And I want to take the time to really thank the decisions that we made when we put Chief Starks in place and when we put Mr. Russell in place. Because these, listening from their conversations, this is something the village has never had and never heard. Ever. So we're moving in the right directions. And when we're making decisions and this stuff comes across our desks and we get to make these decisions, they're not made to be personal, because I'm putting what I pledge to do is the people first. This is what I do. I put the people first. And I would like to also thank our youth. They didn't have to come out and clean the back of our community up, which was deplorable, but they did. And they did it with grace and fun. They were little and bushes, and I was so grateful that they were there, because we couldn't reach all of these different things, and I have a different respect for Public Works. I do, because they work hard, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. So now that we have a Public Works director that is acknowledging our Public Works and giving them their flowers now, I thank you, Mr. Russell. I thank you, because it's what they need to boost their morale. And I thank Chief Vincent Starks for boosting our men's morale. This is moving the village in the right direction. This is calling things that is not as though they were. This is where we're at. And we either are going to get on the bandwagon and stop being political and move the community forward, or we're going to lose out on a lot of things to come. Because this area is getting ready to blow up. And then when it comes down to being respectful to one another, I've never seen any village meetings like Matson. If they don't like each other, you don't know. You do not know. If Moni does not like each other, you do not know. They fight behind closed doors. And they come in with a level and degree of respect that you would not even believe or understand. And for our residents to come out here, as a board, we sit here and try to bully us into what they want us to do is irreprehensible as well. Because people out there, I know 425 people elected me to sit on here and make decisions, not 20 people that sit right there. So these are the things that we are looking at, and we're trying to make the right decisions. And when it came down to the Shiro program, it was wonderful. I had a wonderful time. But I would have liked to see someone from University Park that lives here represented, because we have a lot of Shiros in our community. And I can say one thing, I see two right now, because they've been here for many years. And they've seen the good times and the bad times, and they still coming, and they still supporting, and they still fighting. And one thing I can say, I'm gonna give her flowers now. She's been registering people to vote for over 20 years. She registered all 5 of my children. They are voters, and my neighbor's children. So for anyone to say anything irreprehensible about what she does not do, she stood behind us 10 toes down, making sure we were gonna show up and show out at those polls. And I would like to thank every constituent that voted for me in Precinct 6. I have worked hard. I didn't just show up recently in Will County. I've been in Will County for 10 years. I was in Will County when no one was representing University Park but me. On the dark roads, at nighttime, in bar rooms, behind closed doors, doing everything that I possibly can to make sure that we were noticed and accounted for. So I'm not true to it, new to it, I'm true to it, understand that. And I didn't just start. So I just want to thank everyone. I want to say Happy Easter. I want to thank, really, I can't Public Works, ooh, that was good. I got sticker bugs all over.
Got your steps in, huh?
It was stressful. So I really, really, really want to thank them. And Ms. Grimes, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing to bring us up to snuff. And we are supportive of you, you know. And I can't say enough about all of the trustees that support this community. We love this community. That comes from Theo Brooks to Donna Fulcher to Jewel Thompson. We all have our niche. We all have the things that we enjoy doing. We all do. And we have to learn to respect each other. And as of now, our mayor is the mayor. He's directing the traffic. And until he's not in that seat, he's going to direct the traffic. So we have to give him the respect that he deserves as the mayor, because we have never seen in any other municipalities them disrespect their mayor publicly. And I'm not taking up for Mr. Rudez, I'm taking up for the chair. The chair. So when you sit in these positions and sit in these seats, you don't respect you respect the position. Even if you don't like it, you have to respect it. Because people respected him enough to vote him in office. So if they don't want him, you know what they're gonna do. So we gotta deal with what we have to deal with until that time comes. And I think, in my opinion, things are going relatively well, in my personal opinion. So, and I'm not doing this because I'm saying, oh, you know, I'm just gonna vote yes. No, I'm doing this because I'm looking at what I'm seeing. I'm seeing progress. I'm seeing hope. I'm seeing things change from negative to positive. Now, we might not always get along, and we do things we shouldn't be doing, because I can name a list of them. Mm-hmm. But we have to respect the progress that we're making. And I yield my time, and happy Easter. And thank you again, Chief Starks, for all of the things that you're going to implement. And I just can't wait to see them all. And thank you.
All right, thank you, trustee. And you know, I'm going to ask you guys just to give me a few additional moments, because I have a couple of statements I like to read. I usually don't make public comments. I usually send my stuff to the email for the website. But my statement tonight is just about progress, unity, and the future. Residents, friends, and stakeholders of our great community, let me be very clear. Progress is not always comfortable. Progress challenges old habits. Progress requires courage. And sometimes progress is met with resistance from those who would rather live in yesterday than build tomorrow. We are witnessing moments where manipulation, delay tactics, and divisive rhetoric attempt to slow the momentum of our city. But let's remember this truth. A divided and weakened victory for a few can never outweigh a united and strengthened future for all. Our administration is focused on results. We are focused on investment. We are focused on opportunity. We are focused on preparing this community for the next generation, not reliving the past generation. We cannot lead this city with bedrock thinking, where fear of change keeps us stuck in stone. We must embrace Jetson-era thinking, where innovation, collaboration, technology, and vision lift our community higher than it has ever gone. The people did not elect us to argue. They elected us to advance. They did not elect us to delay projects. They elected us to deliver progress. And they did not elect us to win political games. They elected us to win a better quality of life. So tonight, I call on every council member, every leader, and every resident. Let us move forward together. Let us stop weaponizing the past and start investing in the future. Let us replace manipulation with transparency, obstruction with collaboration, and division with unity. Because history will not remember who tried to slow the train. History will remember who had the vision and the courage to build the track. Our future city is not weak. Our future is not divided. Our city's future is bold, innovative, and unstoppable. and together we are moving forward. Thank you, and we may continue to build a community that works for everyone. And before I ask for a motion, I just want to remind everybody that, as Trustee Brooks said, and everyone realizes that Easter is around the corner, please join us for April 4th. I believe it's from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock here in the town center. So you have an opportunity to participate with our local churches and the community of University Park. So bring the children out. Let us start there in unifying this community. And I just thank you for your comments. Yes, sir? Okay, so now, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. So I will now ask, yes, ma'am.
We have a resource center, resource event on March 31st in this room.
Yes.
Everybody should come out, and a happy belated birthday to our.
Yes, thank you so much for that reminder. So with that being said, may I have that motion to adjourn? All in favor? Opposed? None. Whose phone?